And hello. Welcome to the Star Wars Hunters podcast. We've been gone for a while, but we're back now. So we're going to pick up right where we left off. The party. We are sans one player tonight. There is no what. Gabe.
What?
Gabe.
What?
What?
Why?
Gabe is
Who?
finishing his book, is what Gabe's doing. He has to finish his book by the end of June. And so Gabe is...
That sounds like he's reading a book, but he's actually writing a book.
Oh, he is a slow
writing his
reader.
book.
He's a very slow reader. It took him a long time.
He's gonna get through it. We believe in him.
Yep. He found out it took him a long time to find out why the cat was in the hat. Oh, he's gonna go back and listen to this and kill us all.
Find out why? The cat.
I was gonna say,
Is that a thing?
that's a really
Why
physical.
did he eat with a fox in a box and it sucks?
That's a really philosophical question.
What
Why is the cat?
even is green eggs and ham? I mean, really?
That's why it took him so long to get there, because it was the philosophical exploration of the cat in the hat.
Philosophy major's worst nightmare.
That shit sounds like some complicated bullshit right there.
This is what happens when you
But
miss a
why
session.
was there a wallet in his pocket?
These are
How
all
did the
valid
wallet get there?
questions.
Who put it there?
These are all valid
rocket
questions for
represents
Watt. Let's be
capital.
real.
Why is it one fish, two fish, blue fish?
Yeah,
Oh,
what did
God.
the fish do to get a little car? That's what I want to know. None of the other fish have cars.
Right? Why?
One had a
Why?
little star, but one got a little car. How the fuck?
But why must the dog go all the time? Why can't the dog have a day off? Right? No, it's got to go, dog, go. Like, come on. Rest, dog.
So as we rip into our absent friend, he is missing.
What a weird way to start the session.
Dr. Seuss's estate is gonna sue our asses so hard.
This is what happens when you miss for 3 weeks in a row. Yes, our friend is finishing his book for the Infinity board game. He is writing a fantasy sci-fi novel.
Yeah.
For Infinity. His deadline is coming up soon. We're all very, very proud of him, Gabe. We're all very proud of you, but you're not here, so you gotta get the thunder. So as we left off,
No, good for him on that. Totally reasonable for him to not be here, but missed as ever.
yes, always missed.
Missed? What? Wrong
No,
mean
that's-
first.
No.
That's
No.
As I'm also fighting allergies because my yard got mowed yesterday. So, as we last left off, the party on the planet Bracca, a junkyard ship scrapping planet within the mid-rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, struggled with that one. It's all the phlegm in the throat. So, having to decommission a reactivated Federation tactical battle droid. Also, taking said tactical battle droid brain away from the not-so-bright mechanic that reactivated it. The party were escorted to, technically, their reward for the very first session of, their very first Imperial capture.
First job, yeah.
Taken to a ventilator-class Star Destroyer that is now basically made as a dry dock. The party has to choose between 3 ships that were rebuilt by this mechanic. One that's basically a flying cannon, one that's basically a flying tank, and the other that's sleek and sexy and very sneaky. So not going through the ship's title again, having to go through all the ship's titles again. We spoke about it off stream, and we believe that the discussion of the party choosing which ship needs to happen on stream. So this is where we're going to pick up. We all, with what player not being here, I do know what he chose. So at the beginning, as these ships are revealed to you and the lights click on in the ventilator's hangar bay, Watt immediately goes ah! And just takes off, scampering, his feet and claws digging into the Durasteel as you hear the click 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 like a squirrel on an oleum, running across the hangar deck as he runs towards the VV-929 armed freighter and just climbs up the gangplank and runs inside.
Well, I take it we know his vote. Just keep in mind that whatever we do choose, if it's not that one, we're gonna have to go drag him off of it.
I'd say I'm terribly surprised.
Jude rubs his belly.
That ship could hitch.
He said, "Now
I admit.
I'm proud of all three of these ships. I worked very, very hard on them, and as you can tell, my craftsmanship, well, not so much with the droids. My craftsmanship is impeccable when it comes to ships."
Yeah, these are nice ships. Can we talk as a group?
Yeah.
Tis just like stops for a second and looks back at him and he goes, Is that Mandalorian?
Yeah.
How the fuck did you get that?
Oh, it's a long story, but when I got it, it was a wreck. Like, it had scorch all over it. Everything was burned. I swear. I think you know, you hear the Mandalorians talk about the Night of 1,000 Fires or whatever happened to their planet. That it looked like it flew right through that.
You heard about that, but you don't know anything about the rebellion? What is wrong with you?
I heard about that because this guy that brought the ship and crashed on the planet gave me his ship. That's how I heard about it.
All right, look, we're gonna talk this over. Go over there.
Fine, just whatever. You know, I just worked on these ships. I can ask her any question that you want me to answer, but that's fine. You can just walk.
We'll come
over.
ask you if we need to. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, whatever.
For the next couple minutes, you shutting up is the way. Please stop.
I need that on a t-shirt. You shutting up is the way.
I'm here for that. Let's market that shit.
Yeah, forever DM's
That'll
t-shirt.
pay for our legal fees against Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss is gonna sue somebody.
So I don't normally agree with Watt's impulsivity, but that thing looks like it could ram some shit, and I'm here for hitting things hard.
Depends on what you mean by
ramming with the other two would work so well.
Well, there's different kinds of ramming. You know, there's ramming with energy weapons, and I gesture towards the Mandalorian ship, and then there's physically ramming, and then there's we die if we ram. I gesture to this.
As far as I'm concerned, the options are the ship makes a hole or I do. Whichever ship is better at it.
Well,
Something tells me that Comrec would make the best holes, but
it's a lot of boom, but it's a lot of flash. You show up in a Mandalorian ship that doesn't go unnoticed.
And then we get the Vibra or the Dark Saber. Sounds good. I tell them to bring it.
You ever fought a Mandalorian?
Nope. But there's the first time.
Yeah, me
for
neither.
any.
Let's keep it that way.
I pity your sense of adventure.
You hear from a distance. There's not a lot of them left.
It's called self-preservation, not adventure. Was that Watt from inside the ship, or was that Jude from across the fucking way?
That was Jude.
hey,
He-
question for Bill. Would I know of any Mandalorians actively working within the Bounty Hunters Guild?
Yeah, there's this one. His name's Din Djarin. He's fucking rad.
Actually, given the oh god, Bill, I'm pulling out my Star Wars nerd here.
Yep, do it.
Din Djarin is not active in the Bounty Hunters Guild for 3 more years.
Yeah, where are we in the timeline?
We are right when the articles of the articles were signed by the Empire. The Empire just surrendered days ago.
Okay, got it.
So we are like right now we're like right after the Battle of Jakku.
Post. Oh, okay. Yeah. So like post Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I was getting excited because I thought I had the timeline right. Okay, so the Jedi video games that I've been playing are post Order 66. This is after a whole trilogy from then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I fucked that up. My bad.
Well, this is after
a timeline in my head.
This is after the original trilogy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Before the Rey saga,
Yes. Correct.
but after the Luke saga.
Correct. But you've been on Bracca in those games, didn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. I ran through all sorts of even a Venerator shows up at one point in that.
Venator,
game,
yeah.
Or Venator, sorry.
Yeah,
I
no,
said
you're good.
Venator.
All right, so it sounds like two people are voting for the freighter. What do you want? You want the Commerce?
What?
It's tempting, but
What and need? are two
She's
different
beautiful. Space is also something to consider. I say, looking at two. Look, both of you are behemoths. I don't need a lot of space, but the freighter might be a little more conducive to someone of your size.
It would also provide space for a munitions room. We could easily set up something for demolitions and
The
ship munitions.
Comric has an armory.
Look, there's an awful lot of hard points on this freighter. I can do some killer modifications to this thing, and if I can't do it, I know someone who can.
You guys just hear bing, 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 bing as a part falls out of the gangplank that goes up into the freighter. As like this old rusted part comes out and it's like rolling and like lands. I need that!
Seems like Watt is already doing modifications.
Yeah.
I think if I had my choice, I'd go with the stealth ship, but something tells me I'm going to lose that vote.
I love the stealth ship. I think it's very sleek.
That just means I'm punching holes instead of the ship, as long as there's a place to eject me safely.
So the funny thing is, the stealth ship, while stealthy because of its design, means that when we land, it's not so stealthy because people are like, "Ooh, a stealth ship." Whereas the freighter, they're like, "Oh, it's a freighter," you know.
As long as you guys don't mind sharing a bunk. He's literally sitting
The
on a
stealth ship
crate.
did have very minimal space. Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally sitting on a crate a few yards away, but he's still trying to be part of the conversation.
That's
I get-
so like you can see that I'm angry that I'm acknowledging him, but I'm like, that's actually a pretty good point. That thing's like a pleasure yacht. It's not built for space. It's something to cruise around in, and you're a little big for that, bud.
Vet,
I'm saying that to Tisk, not to Thule.
Vet's Vet or the freighter sound good to me. Cause my backpacks got jets. I'm Boba, the vet. I bounty hunt on Coruscant to finance my vet. Chicka, chicka, chicka.
Just tacking.
You just come up with that? That was good.
You don't know MC Chris's Vet's Vet?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh,
You don't
man.
really? You've never heard of
quoted
MC
it, but I
Chris.
do know it. Yeah.
I saw
wow.
MC Chris at concert in concert at 4th Street Live.
I'm actually pretty shocked you haven't heard that song. That's vet.
I'm gonna link it in our Discord.
Okay.
I'd be a little concerned with the speed of the freighter, but it probably has the most options. I'm sure we could make something of it.
She's gonna be beautiful. And I start walking towards the freighter.
Okay.
You hear?
Tisk does so, but does stop at the comm rack and goes inside because he's got it.
Puts a hand on it.
all right.
Just like
You walk inside the comrec, and sure enough, the first thing that you're greeted with is pure Mandalorian fashion, is a couple of seats for drop troopers, and just past that is an empty but a place that would be considered an armory.
I was looking to see if there was anything in the armory by chance. So the armory is in fact empty.
There is
Take this real quick.
the armory is empty, but to your shock and dismay, you do see that the armory does have a fully functional portable weapons table and forge system.
Oh, cool.
I could be convinced either way, just not the stealth ship.
I pop back down off of the comm rack and I holler over, "Can we take the table?"
Talk to Jude.
I prefer each ship stays 100% because I'm gonna sell the other two. I mean that's the deal.
I imagine you also preferred being alive and not, taken apart by a tactical droid. So if we want to take a little table, we might do it.
Not that table.
Tisk?
Something tells me we can take the table. Just a thought.
If you guys want to be here for another week, I guess that's fine. I have to take the table out. I'm gonna have to try to fit it into the freighter, and I mean the freighter's got its own modifications I've made. It's pretty sleek inside, very comfy. As you just see a window open up on the side of the freighter's cockpit as Watt sticks his head out.
Tisk ponders the notion of a week stuck here with this guy, just nonstop talking. Might not be worth it.
It would probably be enough time for him to tell us how we got this ship.
Maybe.
I wouldn't count on it.
You're right.
And at this point, I do run my hand across the nose of the of the comm rack as I walk over towards the freighter.
I see you do that, and I go, I know. Come on.
I get most of these ships how I find most of these ships. Most of these ships were sent here for scrap, except for of course the comrec crash landed. The freighter was sent here because it was impounded by the Empire. So it's same thing with that hull craft over there. It was impounded on Coruscant a couple of years ago and involved in some case that happened over there. And the Coruscant police brought it here to get stripped down.
Well, thank you for that very useful information.
Well, you're the one I was sitting there asking how I get the ship, but that's fine.
It does look like it would be great for punching holes and earning points. And Thule lays a hand on your shoulder and kind of pats you as gently as he can. Tisk, I understand.
There.
It's okay.
There
I've got
says the whale.
I've got a contact out for somebody that might be interested in the com wreck, and they might come here and pick it up. Either way, one of these ships is
Push comes
yours.
to shove, I still don't want that target on my back.
I'm with you.
All right, then. Did we all decide on the freighter?
I will walk onto the freighter and see what kind of shit Watt has gotten into.
And you hear Watt like, yes, as his head goes back into the cockpit of the freighter.
I don't know why we tried to fight it. He already made the decision.
I can hold on to a lot, but holding on to when his mind is set to something is a big order.
It's a lot of chaos for such a small creature.
So Jude comes walking on after you guys. Well, everything's pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, this was owned by a smuggler. He did some modifications himself. They were pretty nicely done. I kept them because I like the craftsmanship and the work he did. Number one of which, now it's an illegal mod, but I don't know. You said the Empire's not around no more, so I don't know. It was illegal to the Empire. He's got a code switcher up in the cockpit.
Oh,
I think
you did mention that. That's I forgot.
Yeah, I told you about that. It's got multiple codes attached to the ship.
That's a handy piece of tech.
Yeah, I've checked, and all the codes are clean right now.
That was my next question.
Yeah, all of them are clean. I've already run checks myself.
For now.
Problem is though, the little guy's got it right. You get out there and you start making a lot of trouble, and those codes you're gonna start running out of ones you can switch to. Getting a new one, that ain't easy.
But leaving no survivors is easier.
I don't know anything about that. Well, if that's the case, then unless you got any questions, I'm gonna head back, and this ship is yours. Once I'm back, not that I don't trust you boys. Once I'm back safe and sound in my hut, which just should take a couple of minutes, I'll link you the release code for the ship.
Sounds fair enough.
So I thought, well,
Just remember, we do have essentially a tracker droid. If you don't release the codes, we'll find you.
oh, trust me, I'll release the codes. I would like to say it's been nice knowing you boys. I have a feeling I'm going to see you again someday. So I would like to pardon.
We will sincerely hope not.
You're not the only one, son.
Honestly, I think I speak for all of us when I say, please, no.
So you'll hear from me within the hour. And he starts walking down the gangplank. He's like, come here! And he calls for his little bunny droid as it runs behind him. And he gets into the hover truck, and the bay of the ventilator opens back up. And he flies off. The engine of it not struggling as much as when Thule was on it, as it leaves out. And the ventilator closes, leaving you guys alone on the freighter. Random noises.
Between the four of us, that was like 600 pounds they got off of that thing.
You hear Watt just rummaging. He is now within the panels of the ship, and you just see like wires hanging down. As you just see him moving, you hear him, speaking in Lermese, various different things.
Hey Watt, I've heard that running extra power from the environmental systems to the engine could give us a boost in speed. Just letting you know.
Yeah, but whenever we floor it, you'd have to hold your breath. You know what? That's fine.
I can hold my breath for hours. Sounds good to me.
I'm tiny, I don't need that much oxygen. I'm just gonna keep breathing.
I meant more like temperature control, but sure, oxygen systems work too.
All right, so...
And Thule starts looking for a space immediately to create an armory, and secondary to create lodging for himself that's big enough for him to have space.
Yeah, so do you have a map of the freighter that we can see? I imagine you do.
I actually do.
Shocker. And then I want to kind of explore the ship, and you can tell us what the rooms look like and shit.
Actually, since thanks to not sponsored Droid Cartographer, which is an amazing map maker when it comes to ships, I have level cutaways for said ship.
Sweet.
And I will pull
That
them
sounds sexy.
in just a second, and I do have these in Foundry for when they come in handy, but I will pull them up and put them in Discord for you guys to look at and peruse over.
Yeah,
Or
but
paint a word picture for the audience.
been looking at the.
Well, right now,
yeah,
I'm going into the files of my computer.
on this thing.
I am dramatically clicking on the folder that it contains the images.
Files are in the computer.
I am waiting very impatiently for this fucking image.
He subtly caresses the mouse to
No, too much.
That's not what we were going for. I'm sorry.
No,
Wrong kind of word picture.
no.
Clicks on the fire folder and says, "Good girl."
God, this is like click on the
Bill's gonna
folder.
find a very, very different new demographic with his streams here very soon.
No.
Holding the file's hands behind its head, he presses the file against the wall.
Oh God, no! Stop.
Sorry. That's the literature I'm into. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Watch as the pages slide slowly out of the folder.
Fuck yes.
It's like, Sean, stop rubbing your nipples, buddy.
How did you see that? The webcam's supposed to be higher than that.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so the images are in there. You see,
Okay.
I have to pull them up myself. So starting off, as walking up the gameplay, you see the storage area as you come in. That leads into in the center of the ship is a lift that takes you from floor to floor. It's the little circular.
Is this ship completely empty, or is it the one that has the shit in it? The map?
No, it's the
maps
one
that you sent. One is. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the one I sent. Oh wait, I sent two. Yep.
There are two. One's completely empty and one's not.
Yes, the empty one.
Okay, cool.
I accidentally sent that one.
The ship came unfurnished.
Well, no, the cargo bay is empty.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So taking the lift up from there's three.
So I'm in my journal and I'm looking at ships and all I see is the comrade.
It's not in. This
is on Discord.
Foundry. It's
Look in Discord.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay.
All good.
Oh, I like the layers. That's cool.
Okay, so the first map is that the one where there's like cargo bay 1 and 2. This is the bottom floor. This is where. So we come up in that little circular.
So what I'm
thing right there.
I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm gonna remove a couple of them. So you have just the two. You have the two.
Okay.
Yeah, you should have just the two.
The two floors. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have
So the floor we're on is the one with the cargo bay, right?
Yes.
So the two cargo bays. Okay. And that circular thing, is that the lift?
Yes, in the very center, there's a lift that goes up. As you go in, you have the bunkhouse, you have the bunkhouse basically with 4 berths. Each one has a double stack bed that could house a crew of 8 on the ship.
Wait, where's that?
Once you get in, there is the gangplank goes up to a small storage area on the very lower end of the ship.
So the smaller map is the bottom floor?
Yes.
Okay, I was not understanding. Okay, gotcha. So we walk up the gangplank, which is at the back of the ship, and then now we're in this little hallway, and there's the 4 rooms. There's 2 on either side. That's what I'm seeing?
Yes, and then there's a common space above it.
Okay, yeah, I see it with the little Dejark table.
Yep, and when you...
And the holo table, cool.
And there is a Dejark set ready to go. Laid out on that already. As Thule walks past it, he sets it up and it's ready to play.
Hell yeah! Is it like an old school like actual physical set?
It is a portable physical Dejark set. It is not. It is still holographic. It doesn't have pieces to go with it.
Okay, awesome. That's hilarious.
I was just reading up on the modifications on this. The luxury quarters are legit.
Wait, where's that?
So I had pulled up Star Wars 5e and was looking through the equipment tab on the armed freighter.
Mm-hmm.
So the luxury quarters make it so that whenever we sleep on the ship, we regain all hit dice instead of only half, and reduce exhaustion by 2 instead of 1.
Okay, where can I see this? What? Because
I pulled up the pop up for the armed freighter, like under your, like where you could pull up your character sheet in Forge.
Oh, okay. Okay.
On mine, I see all 3 ships listed on there as well.
Yeah, everybody should have it. Everybody should have access to it.
I pulled up the armed freighter and was looking at it.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see it now.
And then
I thought you said it was on Star Wars 5e.
So the descriptions are not there for all of this stuff. Like whenever I'm clicking on that, I'm not seeing the descriptions of what these things do. So I'm cross-referencing to the Star Wars 5e.
Oh, I see. Okay.
On like the modifications and whatnot.
Starship modifications. Okay.
So
under the equipment tab, there's weapons, equipment, and starship modifications.
Yeah, I see.
By which there are a number of starship modifications.
Yeah.
Walking onto, as you go through the small storage area, and then you go into the berthing area where there's four number in the middle, 4 bunks, and then you have the luxury quarters. Then you take the lift up. Once you take the lift up, you go into the actual cargo bay itself. You have a twin cargo bay, one on each side. You have at the back of the ship on this top floor, you have 2 air docks that can link up to ships in the back, and also a top loading ramp for if you want to load directly into the cargo hole itself at the back of the ship. And then that leads straight into the cockpit area. And let's see if I remember, I'll pull up the equipment. Cargo crew equipment. 2 burst, laser cannon, twin turbo battery, fuel cell, lightweight armor. It has a fortress style shield to it. The shields are very strong. It has 2 hyperdrives, a backup.
Yeah. So the hyperdrives, I've not been able to find anything that's an explanation of the class 2 versus the class 12. What does those mean?
Basically distance.
Speed.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was okay. So like in general, like the higher the class, the faster you're going to get to your location. So the class 12 is the backup one, and so we can get there. It's just going to be very slow versus the class 2, which will get us there pretty quickly.
So the lower the number, the faster the drive.
You have,
I believe so.
You have a barracks, you have luxury quarters, a storage compartment, expanded payload. Each you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fixed points so that you can add weapons arrays to. And the most important.
What is the expanded payload?
Expanded payload is expanded payload. The reload value of the chosen weapon increases by half, so the weapon will hold more ammo.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So it's an extended payload for the laser cannons, and you have the most important part. You have a secondary transponder code. This modification implies a secondary transponder code into a secondary transponder code into your ship's sublight engines. This transponder code can differ from your primary transponder code in terms of ship owner, designation, make and model, any registered modifications, and the ship ownership history. The crew member can switch the ship's transponder code as an action. A creature can determine the transponder code is a fake by making an intelligence technology saving throw. DC 8 plus the ship's charisma bonus. Swindle checks. On the success, they determine that
what is the ship's charisma bonus now?
It's like nothing is the only problem. Like we have, it looks like we have.
It's 11. Okay.
But I think I'll have to look back into the ship rules.
Proficiency in swindle.
Yeah, but I think you can add someone's to it, depending upon the situation. Additionally, your ship is Additionally, your ship is proficiently equipped for charisma swindle checks. If your ship is already proficient equipped, it is instead considered expertly equipped at charisma.
So, what is the ship's proficiency bonus?
The ship's proficiency bonus is 0 right now.
Because I don't see it on here.
I think it goes up.
So we're proficient in swindle, but it doesn't actually do anything for us.
I think it's the tiers of the ship, since it's a tier 2 ship. I'll have to double check, but I think it's a +4. I think it's +2 every tier, like levels.
Okay, we'll have to look that up.
Yeah, some of this will have to get looked up.
Yeah, that's fine. Jacob, what were you saying about the luxury quarters? What it gives us? What?
So if we take a long rest on the ship, basically, then we regain all of our hit die instead of half, which is a big deal for me because I use my hit die a lot. And then we regain 2 levels of exhaustion instead of 1 on long rest.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. So, size-wise, are these quarters pretty big? Not asking for me, but for Thule.
Yeah, they're pretty comfy.
Right?
For me, it's a fucking palace.
For me, it's a nice twin-sized bed.
I'm like, holy shit, I can fit my whole family in here.
Basically, the ship has currently, right now, 88 hull points and 52 hull points and 88 shield points.
Does that mean we have points to spend on things? Is that what you mean?
No,
I think
HP.
That's like hit points.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Hull points and shield points. Oh, I see. Now I have to fucking look up all these rules for ship modification because I want to know what I can do with those hard points.
Hard
Right.
points you can attach weaponry to.
But does it have to be weaponry? Or is that just like a...
It's it'll actually say the equipment on there. When you look at the equipment modifications, it'll say the requirements for it, and if it says it needs a free hard point, that's what that means.
Starship modifications. Okay.
Oh, we already have the best power coupling available.
Yep.
Looking through it.
Ooh, sexy. Power
Right.
coupling.
But our reactor is the lowest of the 3 grades that are listed.
So as you guys,
Sean, I just need to read this one for you. It's the boarding pod suite. This suite adds boarding pods to your ship. Boarding pods are designed to be fired at a ship, burrow into the ship's hull, and inject host droids to overcome the target ship.
Oh fuck yeah! Thule's
Each boarding pod can support 10 medium or smaller droids. Oh fuck, Gabe's gonna want this too for fucking Alexander.
I am technically a medium creature, so please put me in a boarding pod.
he has a boarding pod all his own.
Hilarious.
Right. Thule has claimed a boarding pod. Like, he laid down the Dedrick set. He looked for an armory. He claimed his bunk, and then he claimed a boarding pod.
He sleeps.
So
in
I guess Bill. So some of these say like hard points, but this one specifically, the boarding pods one says ship size large or larger. Does that mean we can just install these on it if we like had the money for it?
Yeah, technically, if you have, but does it say it needs a hard point?
No, that's what I'm saying. It says size ship large or larger. That's all
Yeah.
it says.
We're a medium-sized ship, so
Oh, okay. So we can't have these.
Yep.
Okay.
But
assumed
if
we
you
were
were a
large 'cause
large
it's a
ship,
freighter.
you can have it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, our cargo capacity is only 25 tons, whereas a large jumps all the way to 500 tons.
Yeah, it's the difference between a Corellian Corvette and the Millennium Falcon.
Broadside mounting. There's a lot here.
It's a beefy ship. As you guys are looking the ship over, sure enough, Shug, your comm link starts to chirp with whatever theme song you have on your comm link.
We already established its fucking swing.
Right? We'll move with our country.
My bad baby.
right.
So
Now let me swing.
all right, so
Let me see your ship swing.
Right.
So I'm safely back into my hovel. So incoming release code right now. And your comm link chirps.
All right.
Pleasure doing business with you. Tell Nevins next time you
Or-
see him, we're evened out.
I'll tell him.
Hold on. The girls just got home and I hear somebody screaming from the hallway. I'll be back in just a second.
Oh,
Okay.
on that note, it's time for us to take our break anyway. So we'll take a break real
Okay,
quick, and we'll
sounds
be
good.
right back. All right, welcome back. We are back from break. It just took us a few seconds. What do you know? So, as you guys are sitting here inspecting the ship, realizing that although his work may be top notch, it's good, but it can always be better. So,
Oh, yeah.
with that in mind,
Especially when you have Shug and Watt on a crew together.
Shug and Watt have already started making lists of things that they want to do. But, Shug, your comm link goes
You
off.
think
and
Watt has time for a list?
He's got the list, it's just his own personal list.
I'm making the list. His list is in his head.
So, receiving the release codes that you can punch in at the cockpit, you receive a code for the hangar and a code to release the docking clamps on this particular ship.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. So, I was led to believe that you had piloting skills, and then you led me to doubt those skills. I'm talking to two. Is anybody actually trained in piloting?
I'm trained in piloting a ship, just not a mobile platform.
So, out of game, what is your piloting skill, and what is Tisk's?
Oh, Tisk is nothing. I am not.
A +3
Was
for piloting.
was Gabe keeping Watts off he's keeping it off Foundry, right?
I don't remember.
I say
don't
I'm
think
nothing.
you
I'm technically +2, but I'm not proficient in it.
Watt is
Like,
+4.
So that's the interesting thing is like, I'm +5, but I'm also not proficient in it.
That's crazy.
int-based characters, though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah,
I am proficient in it, and I'm at +3.
yeah. That sucks.
I forgot why, but Watt delegated it to Thule to fly.
Well, because he's trained in it. All right. I hand the code or transmit the code,
Oh.
whatever.
All right. Hold on to your butts.
What is the cockpit situation? Is there a co-pilot seat? Is there
So it looks like 2 standing positions, 2 seated positions, and then 2 piloting positions.
Yes.
Oh, holy shit. What are all of those?
So
What are the different positions?
Some of the those are all the
on the-
gunner locations. The gunner. Oh, he froze again. The positions on the ship, the seated positions. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Because you were frozen, and I saw you shaking your head.
Yeah, I know. It's
the-
fucking annoying.
The seated positions. Those are the links to the turrets where you guys can. There's an overall linking link to where it links all the guns to one position, or
Okay.
the guns can activate separately. Like, so if you had one gunner that shoots like forward on all the guns, or you had, Thule wants to shoot one gun, Watt wants to shoot a gun, you guys can do that.
Tisk would make it very clear that he is much more of a gunner position on the ship than a pilot. That's for certain.
Derek, if he keeps freezing and you can hear me, just turn your camera off. Maybe that'll help. But look at that look. Look at that suave look.
Suave yet mean mugging.
Yeah,
It's pretty great.
Yeah, he's mean mugging his camera.
There he is.
Did you hear us the whole
There he
time?
is.
I'm so annoyed. No, I can't. I don't know what's happening. I'm plugged directly into my internet. So, like, what the fuck?
I was about to say, if it's your camera, just turn your camera off, use your mic.
I don't I've never had issues with it before.
I gave it to you. I gave you the itis. I'm sorry.
I can try. I'll try turning my camera off and see if
I
it helps.
swear this never happens.
Yeah, for real.
It happens to everybody. Someone's putting saltpeter in my internet feed. So, with that, Thule, walking up, punching in this code, you do hear the goosh, goosh, goosh of these docking clamps releasing, attached to the landing pad. The ship is now free. Entering in this code, you
we
do
have
hear
a destination.
You hear the grinding noise of the hull opening up of the ventilator as you start seeing sky.
Let's go fuck up some imps. Where are we going first?
That's a very good question. Where are we going?
Did we have anywhere we were supposed to contact?
It's been so fucking long. It's been like that was like 2 months ago at this point.
I legit do not remember.
Yeah.
We got sent to go get the ship from this guy, and dealt with all of this bullshit.
You were told to
Yep.
get your payment, get to orbit, and give him a call.
Okay,
Gotcha.
thank you. I think we should get to orbit and then give Luthen a call. Not Luthen, sorry, Axis.
Not Luthen X.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan to me. Are we still able to successfully fly, or has Watt ripped out like half the ship at this point?
You don't know what he's
For us to
working
make
on, but
changes
yeah,
before
the
we
ship
go.
the ship starts up. Thule, as you step up, you see the adjustment lever, and the seat, like very cushioned, nice seat, goes all the way back. It's slow. It's very annoying. You're like waiting for it to go all the way back. But you said in it, it's nothing like the speeder truck that you were on in Coruscant. This is roomy. This is nice.
I could get used to this. Here we go to orbit.
So you start it up.
I would recommend grabbing a seat.
The hyperdrive fires right up as soon as you whatever work. I forgot his name already. Jude. Whatever work Jude did,
What? Oh,
immaculate on this engine. The engine's purring as this ship.
But is the vibe immaculate?
Vibes lit, fam.
Oh my god.
The vibe is immaculate here.
So, firing up the hyperdrive, you pull out. Give me a piloting check, Thule, to see you don't scratch the paint pulling out of the dock.
Right. Here we go. First roll in a month.
It's like that scene from Galaxy Quest.
That's a 15.
15. Sure enough, it's a tight fit, but you're able to maneuver out of this ventilator, and with a 15, you're able to burn sublight engines, and you are taking off into the night sky as the sun has set on Bracca, as you guys head off into orbit. So, with that being said,
Like,
I get to show
like
you guys
riding a
something.
bike.
I get to show you guys something I've been sitting on.
Did it hatch?
Yeah.
Nice.
Welcome
Cool.
to your fully interactive cockpit.
Wait, it's interactive?
What?
As in, if you look to your left, that is a link to.
It opens to Wikipedia.
Yes,
Or
it-
No,
Wikipedia. What is it?
yeah.
It opens to the holonet.
Wikipedia.
Nice.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
fantastic.
dude, I can launch this into hyperspace.
Yeah. If you click the galaxy map, it takes you to the galaxy map.
Oh, wow.
Very
Then it's
cool.
like a real fucking galaxy map.
Hell yeah. We need a "You are here"
Wow.
tag.
And when you zoom out, you see the cockpit up in the corner. You click that to go back.
Nice.
Oh yeah, cool.
Oh, okay.
And the best part is zoom all the way in. You see the green screen? Click on it.
The green screen, the Imperial Profiles one.
Imperial Profiles?
That is
Yeah.
the wanted board.
Cool, awesome,
Hell yeah.
cool,
This is badass.
very neat. This is very not exciting for the podcast though.
You guys can describe it though.
We're seeing
it's so
the
cool.
cockpit of our ship. It's like we see the seats and all like the panels and shit like that, but the panels actually have readouts and things on them, and we can click on them and they take us to different things, as Bill was just describing.
I
I can click on the
will.
window and it launches us in hyperdrive.
I will try to take a video of it and release it on our social media so people can see it. But yes, you guys have access to the HoloNet on the ship. You have access to the galaxy map and a wanted board.
Very cool.
As my mouse gently filters across the screen,
Oh, God,
I
this again.
penetrate the wanted board. You keep telling me to describe it for auditory listeners. I don't know what you want from me.
But yes, you click the window, you go into hyperspace.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's sexy as fuck.
Hell yeah.
So,
All right, so
with that being said,
we reach orbit.
Badass.
you guys reach orbit, and as soon as you go up in orbit and you are clear of the atmosphere of Bracca, the connection signals start coming on. Bracca being a backwater world, the way it is, there's a little struggle with reaching the HoloNet. Could explain why Jude was a little stupid.
There's dial-up noises in the background as we're trying to reach things.
But you have a ship, and the galaxy is yours. What are you doing?
All right, so some of this we can probably figure out a bit with Watt, but it does look like we pick deployments of like who is taking what station on the ship.
Okay.
That is, from what I can tell.
And you don't
What?
you don't level up until your first ship encounter, but yes, you can choose deployment.
What are
we
our
won't-
stations?
So we won't take our first rank in it until we have our first encounter.
Yes.
So okay, we would just talk through what we're doing, but we don't have any function.
Yeah, it doesn't really come into play.
survive an encounter.
Yeah, it doesn't really come into play until you have an encounter.
Okay.
So you don't really
Okay, but
have
what are the stations?
So see,
navigator,
cord-
weapon suite,
Yeah.
co-pilot, pilot.
Where do I see those?
It should,
So I'm seeing 6 specific ones on Starship deployments on the Star Wars 5e thing. That is a coordinator, provides motivation and organization to the crew and between ships. Gunner controls one or more weapon emplacements. Mechanic controls the energy production and flow of the ship. Operator uses ship systems to locate, monitor, interfere with, and disable the enemy. Pilot controls the movement and tactics of the ship. And technician coordinates the defenses of the ship, including running the shield projectors.
yes.
Cool.
And what that does is that allows everybody to have a role during combat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, with that being said, what are you doing?
I just want to confirm with everyone that this is still what we want. We have this beautiful ship. We could just go. This was our payment. We don't have to go hunt Imperials.
Isk,
Having said that,
Isk,
I hold a hand up, and I'm like, having said that, I would like to go hunt Imperials, but I don't want to force that on any of you.
A panel drops
It-
out right above your head, almost hitting you. Like you dodge it in your little hover droid, and Watt's head sticks out upside down, very a la Stitch. And it's like, we're hunting Imperials.
Tisk in response pokes a claw at the wanted list that's currently empty on the ship. This should be full.
All
I'm
right, well,
sure there are plenty to fill it up.
let me make a
that's
phone
fine.
call. I know a guy that can add to it.
Patching you through on comms. Thule connects you to the ship comms real quick, like he knows what he's doing as a pilot.
Okay.
Watt chimes through. What?
I feel like Thule says like patching you through, and then there's a spark, and you smell fur, like singed fur for a second, and Watt's like, what? And then it goes through.
Yeah.
Right, making a call on the one.
As we contact Axis.
As long as you make the call, as you do, on the one comm link line that you know, and within one alert. Yes.
Your friend Jude says that you're even now.
Good. I figured he talks a lot.
Yes, he does. I don't thank you for sending us there,
How do you like your
but I do
payment?
thank you for the ship. Yeah, it's we're gonna see what we can do with it, but it's a good start.
Good. Well, you have a means of transportation. I have a destination if you want to go somewhere.
Well, so Tisk was just saying about how empty this profile board is looking here.
Well, I don't have a dossier yet. We'll have one up, hopefully by the time you're at least somewhat settled on your destination. We do have a name. See, your little fuzzy buddy, the ISP tablet he found on Covey Station, kind of cracked a lot open for us.
That's good. I'll let him know.
We found an Imperial list, and at the top of that list is a name that we've been looking for a long time. One your friend might be interested in.
You're on speakerphone, by the way.
I don't like it when people just automatically put me on speakerphone, but
It was sorry. It started like that, and then it felt awkward to interrupt because you started talking. And
What's the name?
Under Moth,
like that scene in fucking Cabin in the Woods.
Under Moth Leroux Venda.
Moff LaRue.
Moth LaRue. Moth Vanda, as it were.
Okay, so
Imperial bioscientist.
is this a name that any of us recognize without him telling us who that is, or can we make some kind of roll?
What? Let's make a justified roll. What skill do you want to use to see if you know this?
I would like to use my lore skill
Okay.
to see if this is somebody I've heard of.
All right.
All right. Oh my god. Okay. That's sad. That is an 8 total. I rolled a nat 1 on the die.
Oh no.
God.
And it's my first roll, my very first roll with these brand new dice that I got at PAX East from Dispel, and they're so pretty.
I
And it
hate
was a
that.
1.
That's
Thanks, Karen.
rough, buddy.
Oh, that sucks. Nope, doesn't ring a bell. Anybody else want to try before I
I can't.
So I thought you said-
any jump that would allow Thule to have knowledge of this.
That's fine. I thought you
Yeah,
said
I
Watt
mean-
might know this person already. Does he react at all?
I want to use his work, but I want to use his character sheet, but I don't know if Gabe's been keeping it up.
I'll go ahead and go with a lore check as well, just in case I've heard this name through
Okay.
bounty hunter channels or anything along those lines. I was almost half decent. That's a big ol' 6, so probably
Six.
not.
The name does ring a bell.
I rolled better with my nat 1.
Name does ring a bell, but you're not 100% sure you remember who it is. You do know that you've heard this name before. Let's see. What?
All right. No one's reacting, but go ahead, tell us about him.
Yeah, Bubkiss.
Some of those behind the scenes people are the worst.
Yeah.
You might not hear about them. They're not in the news, but they're doing the worst damage.
What's like? Well, it doesn't matter if you have heard her name. She was all in Imperial news. She's the one that created the vaccine for several plagues on backwater worlds. It has saved a lot of Imperial citizens. But behind the scenes, she's also the ones that created those plagues.
Well, that's terrible.
LaRue Vanda would experiment on repurposed species for the Empire, creating new vaccines, new deadlier diseases to be used on Imperial citizens to motivate the Imperial war machine and spread its propaganda. Also used it
And
to,
her name came up from this data pad.
yeah.
So, what kind of lead do you have for us? Do we have a
Well-
city? Do we have a planet at least?
Yeah, but we don't know if the lead's gonna be you're gonna be chasing a ghost, because the planet that it states was her last birth, the last place that the last place she was located, has been quarantined for over a decade.
That's not promising.
You ever heard of the planet?
There.
Planet what? Sorry.
You ever heard of the planet Canary?
So Jacob asked. Okay, Derek has, but I don't know if Watt has, or if Shug has.
Spell it.
Kenari, I think. Is that right?
Yes, it's Kenari. Yes.
Oh, this is where Cassian's from. That's why I've heard of it.
Yeah, I knew it sounded like. Personally, it sounded familiar, but I couldn't.
Canary was an old Republic mining planet that the Empire took over during the end of the Clone Wars, and there was a mine incident, disaster, killed most of the populace of the planet and left the planet under Imperial quarantine as being toxic.
So you're sending us to a toxic planet to find this person who's probably not there.
That's our last known location. We want you to go
So
go to Canary and assess the situation. If it doesn't look like anybody's landed on the planet in quite some time, just do a scan. Be careful, because they'll have hunter-killer droid satellites watching the planet, keeping anybody from landing or taking off.
Is it too late to turn back around and get that stealth ship?
Is this our only option?
Apparently, yeah. This is top priority from somebody high up.
All right, add it to the list.
So call me when you're in orbit and you got a little something. You got a little more for me. I'll see what I can find out on my end.
We'll do our best.
All right.
What do
Axis.
we get out of this for a wild goose chase? Fuel costs credits.
If you're looking for fuel, I can get you fuel. Credits, you'll get paid.
Well, fuel would be good, but also, some quarantine suits so that we don't get diseased. That would be nice too. I like not being diseased.
I'll see what I can do. Just go to Canary.
You see, Thule has rummaged around in his pack and pulled out these, rough-looking, sketched maps, and is looking around the Herglic trade maps to see if Canary ever showed up on any of them, and if he knows anything extra about Canary that might be related to smuggling routes or anti-Imperial trade routes from the Herglic people.
What would you like to roll?
That is probably something I should look at on my character sheet. So I think, this may sound basic or cliche, but I think I would just go with piloting. As a pilot, what
Sounds
could
good to
he
me.
find based on the maps, these, ancient maps of his people?
Okay. Completely fine with that.
I say ancient maps. They're just labeled as poorly wrought maps of trade routes through Herglic space, is what they're
Nice.
described as. So I have too many character things pulled up. Okay, that's the ship. This is Thule. There's piloting. Using the maps. That's a dirty, filthy, slutty 20.
Yeah.
So looking through your maps, going through Canary, first thing that pops up in your head about Canary is Canary. Where is it? I got it. Written right here. It's in quadrant 6 and 7 on the Imperial galaxy map. So if you pull up the galaxy map, you'll see letters and numbers. You follow the Q down to the 7, and you should see the quadrant that it's in and what planets are nearby. You can see it you should be able to see it on your old map. With that being said, there are some notes in the Herlic language around that sector.
Okay.
And it states that heavy Imperial presence avoid. It's like written in red. These are old. These maps predate the Empire, but they've been corrected.
Right.
Heavy Imperial presence. You do see that someone has drawn in a small world with an X on it. Whether that's Canary,
Did you say Q7?
Q7. You would see the more popular or more famous planets in the sector.
Gotcha.
So basically, you'll be able to see where you are with Bracca. Bracca being that's a good thing about these codes. With Bracca, Bracca is in quadrant P9, and so you would have a starting point and a destination.
So P9 is like
Yeah.
here.
Bracca I found. That wasn't too big of a deal. Struggling to find Canary on
It might not be on here though.
galaxy map that you
You will not.
provided.
Yeah, Canary not on here. It is a backwater world.
But that's the whole point. Is Axis is giving us the coordinates for it.
Yes, the coordinates Q7 is in
Right.
that quadrant. You should be able to find. You should be able to find Canary.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Is anyone familiar with Arda, Meridun, Lukazik, or Jean? If we need to dry dock somewhere, those are the main hubs in the quadrant.
I don't know anything about them unless I can make another lore check.
You guys have access to the Wiki. You have access to the Wikipedia, aka the HoloNet. You can look these up. Wow.
Oh, we can just look those up. Okay. All right. Let's see what we can find here.
Start with Jean.
Ard
This is part of the fun of having you guys plan these.
Q6 Q. We're off a little bit. Okay. So we're actually down below. This is Q6 is Arda. So Q7 is here, I think.
Oh, did I read off the wrong ones? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I did the same thing. It's fine. It's a little hard
So the main
because when you
ones
zoom
here-
in,
Yeah, Gromus is the so.
Gromus. Yeah.
Recon everything Tully just said. Gromus.
No, this is all happening in character. I corrected you.
Perfect. Oh, my bad. Wrong quadrant.
Gromas. There's an Imperial depot and a mining operation. But that's all that's there. At least there was an Imperial depot. Who knows what's there now? Might be abandoned.
We could risk it and try to scav for parts, or just try to head straight for Canary. If Gromus was an Imperial depot and we happen to stop there and there are Imperials, then we get to kill even more Imperials than what we're setting out to now.
Can't hurt to take a look, right? If we scan it and there's no, we can come in a little far out. We scan the planet. If there's no sign of life, we can take a look. And if we find someone there, maybe we just leave it. Don't attract attention.
Gromus is also the closest thing to any hyperspace corridor, so it would be an easy stop compared to finding a smaller planet.
Antilles would be not far out of the way on the random run.
Which one? Say it again.
Lantilles. It's not there. It's kind of like on the way. So if you go up from Bracca, assuming we're taking the random run,
It's kind of hub.
like Lantilles would be a hub on the trade routes. There wasn't much information on Roche, which would also kind of be on the way. But Lantilles sounds like it's like actively involved in like shipping and shipbuilding industries and things along those lines. So I'm sure we'd find dry dock there, no problem, if we're looking for a place to stop.
Yeah, that sounds like a better option to me.
Less chance for fighting Imperials, but whatever.
Well, but
If we're looking for dry dock, like that would be my bet on the way.
I think
Right.
that's I think that's a good point. I think we go stop at Lantilles, we retrofit this thing for whatever we want, and then we head to Gromus or to Centauri, Canary. Bleh.
What do these three? Showmark looks like the biggest hub around there, but do any of these mean anything to anybody? The wheel, Epian, Showmark, or no, that would be Centauri's. Sorry.
Joe Mark is an old Imperial outpost. What else you got?
This would be Centauri's, right? Just to the east of Gromus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Is that Centauri's? Okay. That sounds like it might be a closer hub to our destination.
Centaurus.
Are most of these?
There's not a whole lot here about it. Doesn't.
So are most of these blips on the map systems or planets? Like
Most of the blips
there's
are
reference to the
planets
Centauri's
or
system.
most of them are planets or space stations, such as if the wheel, as you see it on the route, you see the wheel, that is actually a space station.
Okay.
I typed in the wheel and didn't find anything. Oh wait, no. What the fuck?
So Centauri's is located in the Maldrude sector on the Prelemian trade route at the outermost edge of the mid-rim and billed itself as, quote-unquote, the last civilized stop before the wild and woolly outer rim. So that would take us like past the sector, but if we wanted to hit there to be closer for a jumping point, I mean, that might be another option of where to go.
Okay, I found the wheel. Okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking at it right now.
I think if we're looking for good options to upgrade the ship, I think Lantilles is better.
The wheel is a space station that's divided into levels hosting many casinos, cantinas, and a Cosmo lounge, and sporting arena,
Yeah.
and shopping malls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing a better option for dry dock than Lantilles. That's anywhere
Yeah.
near kind of where we're aiming here.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, so Lantilles it is then.
Yeah, that's a yes.
We can always jump off different directions from there if we wanted to, but
Oh, let's go to
First-
Chad.
You don't want to, you don't.
Only if it's Giga Chad.
No, just Chad.
Giga Chad's the moon.
so does that just make Chad mid?
It is a mid-rim planet.
All right, so punching in the coordinates to Lantilles, you are looking at, let's see, where's Bracca?
Here.
Flying out to Lantilles from Bracca, you're looking at probably a day, at least a day in hyperspace.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yep.
Who wants to fire up?
Punch it in.
Fire up hyperspace for the first time.
Yeah, Thule punches it in, turns on hyperspace, and hits the throttle.
Yeah, you go, as soon as you fire up hyperspace, it goes right into it very smoothly. No Millennium Falcon here struggling to get into hyperspace. You feel the slight jump backwards as the ship pulls itself into hyperspace very, very smoothly. You do hear a static pop and smell ozone as Watt flies out of one of the panels he was in, receiving an electric shock and smacking into the panel behind him. Or smoking.
Fantastic.
You activated the hyperdrive, didn't you?
It was time to go.
Ugh.
You weren't around to consult.
He limps off back into the panel. Everything's gonna taste like copper for a week. So, with that being said, day in hyperspace. What is the party doing? You have downtime. What is going to be concentrating working on the ship, so he's not going to be able to help anybody?
So I'll spend some time, trying to rig up space either like in my quarters or otherwise elsewhere on the ship if need be for kind of weapon and explosives manufacturing. Just kind of getting space claimed for building the things Tisk is just ever so sure that we'll need.
Yeah. Thule's right there with you. We are after claiming bunks. Thule is in it for a munitions and armory room.
Walking around the ship, there's several locations with power couplings and hookups that could suit your needs. You guys could section off a part of the cargo.
How many different rooms are on this ship? So like I'm looking at the...
You have two large cargo holds.
Lower hold, so...
Yeah, you have two large cargo holds. You have four bunks, one large common area, one small storage cargo space behind the bunks, and the two large cargo areas at the top of the ship, which could be sectioned off and a workshop created if you so choose. I played way too much Star Wars.
I think I'd probably aim for like the lower quarters behind the residential rooms, like behind the quarters. Although I do guess that is like right by the engines. So
yeah, that's what I'm trying to see on the picture. Is that where fuel storage is? Also, is that what those red canisters are?
It would be, yes.
Well, maybe not there then.
Okay, so yeah, maybe up a level.
I mean, building explosives next to reactive fuel shouldn't be too bad, right?
I'm sure it's fine.
Well, so I feel like we have some smuggling expertise. Let's pick one of the storage bays and see about making like a fake wall in one, or a fake kind of wall at the top of one to have like a smuggler's cache area. That's a munitions dump.
I think we're better off putting it in the floor between decks. Like the entryway can still be in the cargo bay, but we want it to look like a regular part of the ship, not like something that's been built there, because they'll look for that.
Yeah.
So I like sticking it in the floor.
Like how the these fireflies have their little nooks and crannies.
Nooks and crannies, exactly. Yeah. That was Shug's input.
I don't know if I can fit comfortably between levels enough to do any work.
No, but we've got people for that. and droids for that.
We can work elsewhere. We just need somewhere to store it.
As you guys say that, you just hear the creaking of Alexander's legs as it walks around. It does the little, and you see the one red laser eye like zoom in on you guys, and then opens back up and continues to creepily walk on like some modified patrol he's been put on.
So if you ask me, and I imagine Watt will support this as well, we don't do we plan on hauling a lot of cargo? Maybe a little bit here and there to make ends meet, but I think we can dedicate at least one of the cargo bays to just a workshop. A workshop for you, a workshop for me, for Watt, for whatever you want to work on.
You get a workshop. You get a workshop.
We can put in work desks for all of us and just have a little happy craft time for the whole ship.
No, that sounds like a plan to me. I don't expect that we're gonna actually need to haul a full 50 tons around on the regular, and if we do, we can adapt.
Next mission, hauling 50 tons of Nerf.
If I remember correctly, what was the planet that we were looking at nearby? Fucking Gromas was a frick mining place, and that frick is like this indestructible metal. So like maybe, but yeah, okay, cool. That sounds like a plan to me, and I'm sure Watt will be happy about that.
And while we're all kind of scouting out the storage base and whatnot, and we're going through it, and what are we gonna name our ship?
Oh, I can't believe you're the first to ask that. That's such a good question. This is a very important decision.
Yeah, merchandising is located all around this.
It's our brand.
So that general question here, did the transponder codes include like names built into them, or are names separate from transponder codes.
Yeah, you have you had both of them have fake pilot, like they're both fake transponder codes. They have a fake pilot
I think
ownership
from
and
reading
registry.
the thing, I think we get to customize what's different. Yeah.
Yeah, you can change what you want.
So I think we have to set it. We have to set those up. Yeah, they're placeholder names.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
so
one
it's like
one is the Centennial Hawk,
the
and
okay.
Would recommend
Keep going.
One is
Do another one.
the Spanish Inquisition because no one expects us.
the Centennial Hawk, the mahogany pigeon
Okay.
for those
Also, Shook
Hitchhiker's
says,
Guide.
what the hell's a Spanish?
The Hitchhiker Guide fans, one's the Heart of Gold.
Only if there's a probability drive on the ship somewhere too.
So, with that being said, we're coming up to the usual time that we call it, because you guys are an hour ahead of me. Shorter game tonight than we used to. We haven't been together in like 3 weeks, so we spent an hour kind of catching up.
Yeah, we broke up for 3 weeks.
Yeah, sorry about that. We will be back here next Tuesday, and we will see what Lentilles is like on the way to Canary to hunt down this Imperial moth. So let's roll off for some accolades and get those out of the way.
All right. That's a beat that bitches. That's an 18.
Mine, it like flitted around on an 18. But instead it's a 2.
Yeah.
So
Oh, rollsies.
11.
7.
That is impossible to see what the fuck number is on that.
7. You got a
random-
7.
Wait,
Okay.
7. Yeah.
All right, so it is
I'm last.
Derek, Jacob, and Sean.
Fuck, I don't want to go first. All right, Jacob, I liked that you turned the ship selection into like an actual discussion because like Derek wanted the freighter, but Shug is an appreciator of all 3 avenues, so he was like,
Yeah.
oh, like I had to keep an open mind and like I wanted to hear other people's arguments. So, but both Watt and Thule both wanted the freighter, and I was like, oh, sad.
Yeah.
So I was glad that you actually brought up at least discussing the other options. I liked having that with you, and that was fun.
Made for a good conversation there. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Bill, I love the little interactive cockpit thing you got going on here. That was super cool. I wasn't expecting that, and that's something that we'll continue to appreciate as we play, I imagine. So
Yeah.
that was fun.
Love to see you guys have access to Wikipedia as a HoloNet. I think that's going to add a flair to the game in a way.
Yeah.
For sure. Which I'll just go ahead and segue that into mine for Bill. Yeah, also the cabin around all of this, obviously, but like the direct connection into Wikipedia, like that's something that you've talked about us like doing. Like as long as you have access to the HoloNet, you can just pick up Wikipedia and just look up information, because in this day and age, that is exactly how that would go. But like kind of building that in here, it feels like a nice touch. So like between that and the profile list, it's making it all feel very, very bounty hunter-esque, and I'm here for it. So I like how you're setting us up here with it, man. For player, I'm gonna go with Sean for Thule, just not caring what ship ultimately, so long as he got to put holes in other ships, like holes in holes. It comes back to the standard MO for Thule here. It was great.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw one right back to you for being on the exact same page. Okay, where's the munitions lab gonna be? Like the shit's gonna need to continue to blow up. Where's it gonna happen?
Right.
And that being the priority of the ship. Yeah, like I'm getting a bunk that fits my body size, and then I'm making a space to blow stuff up. And it seemed like Tisk was on the exact same page, and I really appreciated that.
Hell yeah, man.
Bill, the cockpit's super cool. I don't want to downplay that at all, but I'm much more excited about this mini sandbox you've given us, because I'm gonna find a way to fill it.
See, that's where
So if you've not ever seen Sean play a video game before,
my
there's a thing on the map over there. I'm gonna go check that out.
my joy as a DM, I love writing stories, but I love telling stories with people, and I like improvising with people. So part of my fun is giving you guys tools to improv. If I say go to Canary and you're like, you know what, F that, we're gonna land at this planet to do dry dock, I'm here for it, dude. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do this. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm absolutely like solid sold on this because it's we'll probably do a little bit more theater of the mind, but that's fine. We're a podcast now. Hey, it pays off. But that is something that I'm looking forward to as a DM. But coming back down the line with everybody, it's like Derek Shugs. I think you telling me you were for the freighter, I did not buy that with Shug. I honestly could not tell which ship you were for. I thought, if anything, you might have been for the Hullcraft, but like you were like, oh yeah, I was for the freighter. I was like, really? Okay.
It has the most options for customizability, and that's what Sugar wants.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
But I'm glad that came across. That
it was a very Shug moment that actually threw me for a loop. I was like, oh, okay. It's like I thought you were going for one thing, and it turns out in a very Shug fashion, you were hard to read. Jacob, I saw it. It was either in Tiff's eyes or your eyes, the breaking of the heart when you had to say goodbye to the Mandalorian ship.
Yeah, man. If anybody else had potentially like voted on it, I would have said fuck it. Like, let's go fight Mandalorians. Then like it'll happen at some point. Let's go.
Oh, that would have opened up a whole new storyline for you guys eventually. A whole new arc.
Yeah, no doubt. Player me wanted that ship. I think Tisk legitimately didn't want Mandalorian target like aiming reticles on his back, but you know,
nice.
It's a very cool looking ship. I have to,
I got the Lego of it sitting right back here.
We talked about Thule's wanting to punch holes in hulls and like all this other. No, when you guys read off the boarding pods and to the look on Sean's face, that I pictured like Thule in a boarding pod, like arms on each hull. Do it. It's like launching him into another ship's hull.
That is something that I had never heard of before. As a thing, when you all brought that up as a customization option, I fucking love that idea. That's fantastic.
If you haven't ever seen Skeleton Crew, the opening of Skeleton Crew, seeing the Star Wars pirates take a ship, like it happens first episode. Seeing them shoot the little umbilical pods over, and they're like these clear, like windowed tubes that the pirates are running through to go on to the other ship, like fucking boarding ramps. Oh, it's so cool, so cool. Sean, you should watch just that first 5 minutes of pirates taking a ship.
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, from Skeleton Crew.
Okay.
Because it's just Star Wars pirates taking a ship. But yes, I have to reluctantly choose one person to give inspiration to, and I'm going to give inspiration to Watt. Watt was played so wonderfully today in true Watt fashion.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to give it to Tisk. Tisk, you will get an inspiration today for our first game back.
Right on. I'll take it. Looking forward to fitting this ship to our bounty hunting needs.
All right, so we will come back. I don't know if Gabe's going to join us. I remember him saying, I can't remember if he said end of June or beginning of June.
I think it's a maybe.
Yeah, I think it's kind of up in the air for him on just when he's actually done. So
yeah.
So he will join us when he joins us. I was hoping he would only end up missing one game, but we'll see. If not, we will take up with you guys going to Lantaris next week.
Lantilles
next week for a little bit of work on the TBD.
Well, we'll have to see if they've got a good noodle shop.
Oh shit, you're right.
So
we should build a noodle shop on the ship.
There you go. Noodle station.
Shoodles of noodles. All right, with that, thank you guys very much for returning with us to Star Wars. Look for us every Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll have a new episode up on our YouTube channel, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Forever DMs. As we like to say here, please practice kindness. It is a free action, and we will gladly see you guys later.